I keep seeing women complain about not being able to find a relationship, but what do you have to offer? If you're an independent girl boss who refuses to listen, isn't willing to submit, and wants to keep going to the clubs and lingerie every night, why do you think any self-respecting male would want you? And women continue to demand things of these men without offering anything in return. They demand that the men pay for everything, that they protect them, that they're at their beck and call. You continue to tell men what they need to do to be better men when you yourself aren't trying to be a better woman. In this post surfaced the other day about how men can't find godly women, but you're sitting in a row full of them every Sunday. 9 times out of 10, that row is full of overweight women who go out and club every single weekend, who don't know how to cook, who want to put their career before raising family and having kids. So yeah, of course the men are going to be at the most trad place they can find, because they want a traditional biblical marriage. They're allowed to have these standards the same way that you are allowed to have your own standards. So if you're mad about this, you're mad about no one wanting you, then perhaps you should do some self-reflection.
Okay, my guys, let me be brutally honest with you. Simping is the fastest way to guarantee a woman never sees you as anything but weak. Simping looks like this: blowing up her phone, validating her every move, putting her on a pedestal like she's a prize while you're begging for her attention. That energy screams desperation, and nothing kills attraction faster than a desperate man. Here's the truth. Women do not respect men that they can control. If she knows she can post a selfie and you'll drop everything to worship her in the comments, you've already lost. You've given her all the power without making her earn an ounce of respect. High-value women don't want a doormat. They want a man who leads, who has standards, who commands respect without needing to chase it. You don't get respect by handing over your dignity for a shot of attention. Stop simping, stop begging, work on yourself, build your confidence, your body, your discipline, and when you level up, you attract women naturally, the right women. The woman doesn't need a fan club. She needs a man she can actually follow. That's the difference between being her option and being her choice.
The reason men exist is to be able to help women. I disagree. Women exist to be helpers of their men. Don't let the feminists fool you. Being a helper is not demeaning. The greatest thing your woman can do is help make your life easier so you can go out and conquer and support the family. Think of her as the wind in your sails. You're steering the boat and she's helping you move forward. If it's the other way around and her purpose comes before yours, you're in danger of relationship issues and a loss of attraction. And on top of this, if she's pursuing one thing and you another, you can't be unified and moving forward, and your boat might sink. Men and women are always equal in dignity, but our roles are vastly different.
Here's something a little frustrating, but true. Bring your husband, partner, or male friend to your appointment. Doctors listen better when a man is in the room. I know. But research shows women are taken more seriously, get more tests ordered, and receive better treatment when accompanied by a man. I get it. It's angering. It shouldn't be this way, but it is. So use it to your advantage. Your male companion doesn't even have to say much. Just being there changes how the doctor treats you. And if you don't have a man to bring any supportive person. The witness effect still works. Or say, my husband wanted to be here, but he couldn't. He asked me to make sure we address these things and then get everything written down. It's not fair, but your health is more important than fairness right now. So do whatever works. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow, and check out my book. The link is in the description.
Y'all just come up with anything, man. It's always a problem. It's always a problem with somebody somewhere. Man.
You know what I find interesting about this comment is how many times women say to other men, why don't you hold other men accountable? Why don't you hold bad men accountable? But on my page, I hold bad women accountable and I get crucified for it. I talk about bad behaviors from women. I talk about hypocritical bad behaviors from women 24/7 on my page. I have now had 12 other accounts banned because I talk about the bad behaviors of women. I hold other women accountable and I am crucified for it. I am called a pick-me. I'm called the new supply, blah, 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 blah. Even though I hold other women accountable. Why is it that you women are hypocrites? You want men to hold other bad men accountable, but you don't want women holding other women accountable. girl, this isn't a page for you if this is the kind of you're going to come up with and say, because I'm going to run your ass with a steamroller. Bye.
And that's how you have to talk to some of these modern women. They're not going to respect you. They're going to talk stupid. They don't want to be held accountable. That's what it is. They want you to trash the man. The man is always the problem in every single situation. It don't matter if the man can come out there and say, hey, that's my bad. I take full responsibility for my part in the situation. It don't matter if they say that. They want the man to take full responsibility for their part and her part in this situation and basically blaming it all on himself. If I was more of a man, if I was more of a leader, then none of this would have ever happened. And I would have never put her in this position for her to have to make a decision to act out of character, to not be feminine. Okay, that's how they think.
The worst thing about being a single mom is after the kids go to bed, you cannot go to the store to run an errand. Like, if somebody loses a tooth and you don't have a pack of gum or a sparkly ass dollar, you can't just go get it. My daughter needs a pair of tights for an outfit tomorrow because we have something right after school we have to do. That's like Christmas. She's going to be cold without the tights. She needs something to keep her warm. I don't have anything else for her to wear. I don't have time to go get it tomorrow. I can't go get it now. She's just going to be cold. It would be nice if I could just run an errand after bedtime one time, or send somebody else, be like, hey, can you go pick up a pair of tights? Or hey, can you go get the gut? Like, just, everything else is pretty cool though.
I didn't see this coming. Y'all ready?
Why I wanted to share this is because it is like this secret conversation that's being had amongst women. And then there's a fear of vulnerability of exposing that and sharing that women are leaning on women because there are not enough reliable men to lean on. And there are a lot of us that feel like we're holding so much for our communities and for ourselves. It's hard to kind of put it down into rest, whether it's for they're holding space, other women are holding space for their children, for their communities, for their families, for each other. And it's really hard to feel like there are solid men or communities that can hold us so that we can rest for a moment. And I wanted to share this because it's not really talked about. And I think it's really important for men to hear, for whatever it's worth, whether it's to just check in on the women in your communities, whether they're single mothers, whether they're just sisters out in the world doing their thing, to just check in on the women in life, ask how they're doing during these times, even at a minimum, for what it's worth.
Your mother, your sister, your cousins, your aunts. Yes. I say checking on those women, providing, helping them out, how they're doing. But a lot of ladies have said they want to be strong and independent for a long time, and they preach that. I don't need a man. I can do it all by myself. A lot of ladies preach that for so much. Now they're like, hey, we're throwing in the towel. We waving the white flag. Come on, guys. The real men. Come on in.
Men, especially right now, are needing a lot more appreciation and support from women and from men. Because since the rise of the feminist movement, we have seen a lot of empowering women or independent, powerful women kind of pushing down and suppressing masculinity. And we are seeing this on a larger scale. This is hurting all of us. And if we choose to support men in the rise of healthy masculinity, we are going to see everything start to work in our favor as women and as men. So we need to stop with just empowering women and bashing on men and hating on men for being men, and start empowering everyone so that we can all thrive together.
A woman sort of needs a guy to
do things.
Yeah. Protection, just support. Because women can lose it a lot. Like they're very emotional, yeah? They're more emotionally charged than men, for the most part, you know?
Yeah.
And so they need that support, that stability.
Submission. One of the most misunderstood words in modern culture today. When most women hear submission, they instantly think of weakness. They think control, manipulation, or losing their independence. But that's not submission. That's distortion. True feminine submission is not about being controlled. It's about trust. It's It's allowing a man to lead when he's proven and that he's capable of doing so. That's where modern women today get it wrong. You want a masculine man to lead you, protect you, and provide for you, but the moment he tries, you call it controlling. You want a king, but you treat him like a subject. Submission does not mean silence. It means respect. It means understanding polarity, that two alphas cannot coexist in one relationship without constant power struggles. Someone has to lead, and someone has to trust that leadership. It's not oppression. It is balance. And before any of you twist that, yes, it requires the right kind of man. You don't submit to a weak man, a liar, or a manipulator. You submit to a man who's earned it through his actions, his consistency, his integrity, and his ability to make you feel safe. Real submission only thrives in the presence of real masculinity. And when both play their role, the relationship flourishes. But when both try to lead, it collapses. So no, ladies, submission does not strip you of your power. It amplifies it, because the strongest women know when to lead and when to lean back. The weakest ones are so afraid of being controlled, they end up controlling themselves right out of love. If you want a masculine man, learn to trust the masculine. You can't demand protection while competing for dominance. That is not partnership. That is just complete chaos.
And honestly, submission in a lot of these situations, if you would just observe how the man acts before you even get into a relationship with him, you can avoid a lot of these problems. But because I think there was a woman that talked about she was in No Man November, but she accidentally met a man that was so hot. He was like Morgan Wallen, but 10 times hotter. And he ended up being a dud. I think he made some joke about, it was, so the joke I think was, they were talking about golf. And she said, do you want to play 18 holes or something like that? It's not funny. I'm just, it's just, do you want to play 18 holes? And he said something about 19. I'll play 19 if you, or we can do 19 holes if you play your cards right, or something like that. So that made her upset. And she was like, oh man, I'm not taking that. I don't care how fine you are, this, and this. A lot of you modern women are not vetting these men properly. You're looking at the man and he's hotter than Morgan Wallen, and that's all that really matters to you. And so when the man shows himself to be incompetent, you're already in the relationship with him. And now you're upset. I'm not following you. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You shouldn't have been in a relationship with him anyway. That's your fault.
We need more women protecting masculine men. Healthy masculinity cannot thrive in a feminist culture that constantly shames and rejects it. Women are the spiritual leaders, and our role is to step into our feminine so that we can protect and safeguard the masculine, not by controlling or criticizing it, but to recognize its role, its vulnerability, and its value. We are the spiritual protectors of masculine energy, and when our energy gets distorted, like it has been, like the agendas have been pushing, healthy masculine energy cannot rise. When we begin to stand for masculine men, when we are patient with their process and supportive with their growth, their strength rises. And when healthy masculine rises, the feminine feels safer, can soften, can create, and can be supported. So this is how divine balance takes form, through balance, protection, and the mutual respect between masculine and feminine energies. We do need each other to a divine extent so we can come back to our wholeness. Rejecting masculinity rejects the structure that we all depend on. So when you choose to protect masculinity, to be patient with masculinity, you are upholding divine order and balance.
Men melt when a woman speaks softly. But a lot of women don't want to hear that because they think being sweet makes them look weak. But that's a huge mistake because a woman's greatest power is her softness. Think about it. If he wanted another alpha energy in his house, he would have married another man. So if you ever have caught yourself thinking, he never does anything that I ask him to, it's probably because you talk to him like you're another guy challenging him. Try using your feminine, soft, lighter tone of voice more often and just watch how differently he treats you. I've never heard a no from my husband when I speak to him gently. He's even told me that he can't resist when I ask that way. If it feels hard to switch into that sweet version of you, it's because you've permanently turned on that masculine energy without even noticing. And that puts your relationship at risk. That's why I created my free quiz to help you find out which energy you're in most of the time, masculine or feminine, and how to fix it before your relationship crumbles. Click the link in my bio and I'll send it to you.
Men do not want an independent boss babe. They want a feminine woman. Here's why. Masculine and feminine energy cannot compete in the same space. You are both trying to lead, dominate, and control. There is no polarity. There's no spark. The attraction will die. A man does not need another boss in his home. He already deals with the competition in the world. What he wants when he comes home is peace, softness, respect, and a woman who trusts him enough to lead the relationship. Now, don't get it twisted. Being feminine is not weak. It's powerful in its own way. It's knowing how to nurture, support, and inspire a man in a way that nobody else can. That's what creates longevity and passion in the relationship. So when a woman says, I don't need a man, I'm independent, what she's really saying is she wants to compete with you instead of connect. And men, do not sign up for competition in your own house. Men want women who bring balance, not battles.
As a woman, acknowledging that I need a man or that I need men in my life, it doesn't make me weak. I think if anything, it makes me strong because strong people have a honest assessment of themselves. They know where they are strong, they know where they're weak, they know where they are adequate and where they're inadequate. And I think what happens is so many of us women have been sold this pipe dream that we're supposed to be self-sufficient in and of ourselves. We're supposed to have it all together. We're not supposed to rely upon a man or seek any validation or seek any input. And the reality is, you know what happens? Even if you are a woman who you can pay your own bills and keep a roof over your head, what happens when the car breaks down? What happens when your electricity runs out? What happens when, God forbid, plumbing starts? Who are you going to call? It's likely going to be a man. And even today, with this whole, gender war going on and some women doubling down and saying, we don't need to depend upon men, we can figure it out by ourselves, some of those women are turning to OnlyFans. And they're turning to other means where they require basically, male patrons. So it's like, stop the cap. I mean, nobody in the face of this planet is meant to live life by themselves in and of themselves. Like, of course, women need men, men need women. Like, that's how societies have existed for thousands of years. So I think some of us, honestly, we get stressed and we get overwhelmed when we have to keep the cape on and pretend like we're Superwoman when, quite frankly, we're stressed, we're overwhelmed, we're scared, and we don't know what to do. And I just am here to say it is okay to admit that you need a man. It does not make you weak. It does not make you inadequate. It just makes you a human being. And I think, like I said, the first step towards getting better is admitting. And some of us need to admit that we're overwhelmed or stressed and that we can't do it by ourselves. And that is okay.
I am married to the most nonchalant man ever. And by that, I mean, do you know what my husband found today that I didn't even know he had? He goes, oh, I thought I lost those. He has 2 purple hearts. In the 3 years we've been together, he's never told me. He's like, yeah, I just thought I had lost them.
This is not because you're married to a nonchalant man. This is because you're married to a good man that has probably a lot of feelings surrounding that day. It was probably one of the worst days of his life. Sadly, for a lot of good men, those medals can just represent and be reminders for the day that he lost his buddies. But I understand why she misinterpreted this as just being nonchalant, because women don't realize that men that have been through these things, like, they might act calm, cool, and collected, but that doesn't mean that it's not having a huge impact on his mental health. Because of that, he needs to have coping strategies. Putting these medals aside and never speaking of them, that's a coping mechanism. So ladies, if that is you and this is your man, just be cautious. Don't open Pandora's box.
Highly ambitious men have 2 options. You can either have a wife who supports you and loves who you are at your core and is aligned with what you're doing, or no wife at all. Hallelujah.
A man giving you money will always and forever benefit him. And the men are going to hate me for this because they're probably going to disagree, but I swear to God, it's facts. Number 1, when men give you money, they will always prosper. It's true. Men giving a woman money will always inevitably help them prosper. It helps them to work more. It gives them that drive to work harder, inevitably giving them more money than they're ever giving away. Number 2, that woman is very likely using that money to get hotter. Okay, having a hot woman on a man's side is the biggest status symbol that any man can have. Again, you can argue all you want with this, but it is true. Men want a good-looking woman by their side because it is a status symbol. It is their biggest accessory. I've said it a million times and it is just true. If you walk into a room as a beautiful woman with a man, he objectively will be respected more. Okay? Men are visual creatures. They will immediately be like, what did you do to get that? And again, that will open more doors, more opportunities for him. It will help him network more. There is one caveat to this. As a beautiful woman, do not help a man network more than he is willing to do for himself. I have done this. I have put men in rooms they should have never been in, okay? And I'm not saying I'm like the most beautiful woman in the world, but it is easier for me than most women to get into rooms where men who, let's be honest, I like to date mid to possibly ugly men, okay? When they get in those rooms, they should have never been in those rooms to begin with. But they were able to get in there because they saw the person by this man's side and they were like, maybe he has something to offer. They never did. I helped them for no reason. Do not do this. If he's not willing to do it himself and you're there to basically back him up, you're there as the co-signer, like, yeah, this man is something. There's a reason that I'm with him. Give him a shot. Other than that, do not help him. But again, a man giving a woman money will forever and always benefit him. Men who are stingy, men who are not generous, you will see. Some of them may elevate their lives very likely in a fraudulent manner, but if they do give a woman money, they will always and forever be ahead of the game. And you'll see very generous men. The reason that they are generous is they understand this. Bye.
It's not necessarily that a man is going to hate you for it. It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Y'all always try to put out something somewhere to make it seem like it's benefiting a man, and it's actually only benefiting you. That's literally it.
Okay, so this is to the ladies, okay? If you have a man that, needs some sort of reassurance or needs to be understood or just needs to be heard out, maybe he's venting a little bit, and he's going about things when he's in that state explosively. All right, if you correct him and tell him that, hey, like, that's not the way, it's done, you just need to communicate and tell me how you feel. You need to open up to me, okay, about your feelings or what you're wanting. So say he wants to be heard, understood, and wants that reassurance and wants that love, whatever it may be. Okay, so you corrected it. He's no longer going about trying to get what he needs or wants in an explosive way. So now he's coming by communicating. You now have to give him what he wants. And it's not you have to, it's that if you don't, he's going to feel like you don't give a shit. Because, again, you know what he wants. He's telling you what he wants. And so you're saying that's not the way to get what you want. This is the way. Now, if he does that and you don't deliver, you have an issue. Because there's a lot of women that I do believe that struggle to deal with or hear a man out when he's going through something. And so it's looked at like, well, you're the man, you're the support system. Like, well, I feel like I'm supporting you. Like, and it's like, yeah, like, I don't think a man, again, should be dropping to his knee all the time and like struggling and complaining and all the time, just like everything's always going wrong and all that stuff. I get that because women will take that like you being feminine. Like that's something that we do. But a man is going to do this time to time. Like here and there, once in a blue moon, whatever it may be. And so you have to support him and, and nudge him or put him right back on the same path in order to have him in that position to continuously be your strong support system. As of right now, he may need a little something from you too. And if you love that man, you're going to have to deliver on that. But these men cannot be, like stone all the time. They can't just be tough all the time. They can't just be emotionless all the time. A A lot of these men, they all of them have emotions. They have burdens. They have issues, and you're their woman, so they will from time to time look at you and wonder why you're not, assisting or soothing or caring. A lot of the times a man is going to solve his own problems. He don't need you to, go to the drawing board with him and be like, have you tried this? Because that's what we do. But a lot of the times he just wants to feel better and wants to feel cared for, wants to feel heard and understood, and not just, I understand. So you cannot correct his behavior by saying, this is not what you don't get what you want by being explosive. You have to communicate. Then when he communicates, he gets nothing from you because he's going to feel like you don't give a shit about him.
Being 250 pounds at 5'10" is completely unacceptable. But you're disgusting. 250 pounds. Dude, I was 6'3". The fattest I ever got was 250 pounds. So I could only imagine at 5'10" how fat you really are. That's a problem. And it's going to affect so many other things in your life. The way you feel, your leg giving out, you feel like that is from you being fat. You need to go to the gym and start exercising. Do something and get the blood circulating, get sweating, so you feel some sense of accomplishment. Being 250 pounds
I'm going to say, ladies, the simplest way to attract in a high value, high earning man that has a lot of options, if you want to be the option that he chooses, is to remember that men desire an aesthetic first. What you look like is what's going to get him there, and your character is what's going to keep him there. So do the best with your genetic potential. That does not mean you have to be a size 0. That does not mean you have to be the most beautiful woman in the world, but it does mean do the best with what you have. Go to the gym, drink water, eat salad, have your greens, and minimize the amount of fast food and unhealthy foods that you have throughout the week, right? Really throughout the month. Because it's just the reality. Women innately desire safety and security. Men innately desire an aesthetic. And if you want to fight against the grain, you can fight. And it's like fighting a riptide, you will get drowned. You can be as upset about it as you want to. You can say what you want about it, but it is just the truth, and it is human nature. So if you know that human nature works away, don't work against yourself. I'm not going to put a weight or an amount on it, but do the best with your genetic potential, because ultimately we want to feel good when we look in the mirror too. I know I fluctuate about 3 to 4 pounds. It doesn't really change from that point because I feel it. I feel it when my energy is lower. I feel it when I'm more tired or fatigued. I feel it when I'm like, dang, my pants is fitting a little bit tight. Or I feel it when I get that little roll on the side, time to hit the gym. Okay. So that's just how I feel. And the standards that we have for ourselves are the lives that we will lead. At any given moment, you can change your standard.
And really what you're getting at here is discipline. If the man's supposed to show some sort of discipline, then why can't you? For some reason, I think that's a fair trade-off. And most men do as well. I don't know, man. I don't think that's the way that you're going to be able to. I mean, I guess you can wear the helmet that way. You do whatever you want to do.
Why would I chase you when women don't run from as they want?
What happened to the that just like to work? I mean, like, everyone wants to be a rapper. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber, content creator. What happened to the niggas that just want to provide and come home to a bitch that's cooking and cleaning the kitchen? Like, why are we competing? And
what happened to the chicks that's cooking and cleaning? They gone, man. What happened to the women who allow dudes to have dreams? You know what? We allow y'all to have y'all dreams. If you think about it, being a successful rapper and then finding a man that's over 6 feet, makes 6 figures, has a 6-pack, willing to protect and provide, the chances are they're very similar. If you think about it, you might only have a 1% chance to make it. Same thing with a rapper, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we letting y'all live your dreams, let us live our dreams. My goodness.
You want to know why good men cheat? It's not because they stop loving you.
Yeah.
It's because you stopped making home undefeatable. I'm not talking about cooking and cleaning. I'm talking about energy.
Right.
I'm talking about the way you greet him when he walks through that door.
Yeah.
The way you speak to him. When a woman is fed, desired, and chosen every single day, she stays.
Yeah.
When a man comes home to peace, respect, and a woman who actually wants him, he stays. That is loyalty, not a promise. It's a reality you create.
You're right.
But most women have lost this. They wonder why their man pulled away, why he stopped pursuing, why the spark died. Honey, you killed it. You stopped being his peace and started being his biggest source of stress. You nag him about everything. You dismiss his wins like they don't matter while expecting him to celebrate every small thing you do. You punish him with silence. And then you're confused when he starts working late.
Yeah.
When his eyes wander.
Yeah.
When he stops trying. Here's what you don't understand. When you reject him over and over, when you make him feel undesired, unwanted, like a burden, you are literally breaking the biological bond that keeps him attached to you.
And baby, the food good? So what you... Baby? Yeah, I'm done, you know what I'm saying? But...
What?
There you go. That's for you.
I thought you were gonna take care of it, babe.
I mean, I was gonna take care of it, but I left my wallet at the house, so.
Oh, it's okay, baby.
Baby, you got you a keeper. Cause that's exactly what you want her to respond like. Huh. It's nothing wrong with us women covering the tab.
I'm saying, you sure?
I'm positive. I will just come back.
Babe, I'm saying, are you sure?
Yeah.
I make sure, because you know I could do Apple Pay still.
Baby, it's okay.
Nah, I just wanted to make sure you feel me, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't want you to feel some type of way that I gave you the check.
That's right, girl. Y'all in that thing together, okay? It's no reason for him to feel a certain type of way, baby. Because you are there to catch him whenever he fall, baby. That's what you call a backbone right there, boo. That's what you call a rib, okay?
Baby, don't worry about it. It's good.
Well, I'm glad you paid for the food, child. I got my wallet, though, by the way. I was just playing.
Well, I'm going to take care of it. Because you want to play so much.
Oh, so
That's why I was like, why would you want me to pay for it? Usually you be all like, no, don't worry about it. I got it. But no, this time I got it, baby.
All right, shit, period. And tell me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
And no, I don't want my money back. A lot of y'all women need to be more like her and stop complaining when it's time for you to cover the bill. If that's your man and you really love him like that, it shouldn't be a problem of you paying the tab. Regardless if he forgot the wallet or not, baby, I still want to pay that tab, okay? Because I want to treat my man like the king that he is.
When she rejects you, but still acts interested. Fellas, here's the truth. Sometimes a woman will say, I'm not looking for anything serious, then still blow up your phone, flirt with you, and act jealous when you talk to another woman. So what's really going on? She likes the attention, but not enough to choose you. It's a power play. She gets the validation without commitment, and you stay emotionally hooked. Here's what to do. Number 1 is to pull back your attention. No more free emotional energy. Number 2 is don't be easy to control. Stop always being predictable. And number 3 is watch her actions, not just her words. A woman who really wants you won't leave you confused. You have to treat yourself as a limited option because rejection isn't always about you. Sometimes it's always too about her, but also the way that you've been acting. Because let's ask yourself, have you become that limited resource in her life? Or are you someone that is always there to fix her problems? If this sounds like something that you're going through, comment confused right below and see how I can help. Like and follow for more tips.
Just block her and move on. That's, the simplest form. She's playing around. There's no reason to get involved in this type of foolishness, to be honest.
Welcome to part 2 of Think a Feminist Fact Check. Number 1, medical consent. Before the mid-1900s, no adult, man or woman, had modern medical consent rights. Doctors treated the family as an entire unit and made decisions for them. When patients started suing for unauthorized treatment around the 1930s, hospitals started requiring that every adult sign their own consent forms. It was all about legal liability and not women's rights. Number 2, the right to work. Women have always worked. Census data from the 1800s show millions of women in farming, textiles, teaching, and domestic labor. By 1900, 1 in 5 women already held paid jobs. Industrialization and war created those opportunities, not feminism. And flashback to part 1, women gained the ability to sign contracts due to coverture laws being repealed. Number 3, custody rights. Early custody reforms came from the tender years doctrine in the late 1800s, driven by Christian reformers, child welfare advocates, and early social workers, stating that children needed maternal care. This was long before organized feminism existed. And number 4, unrightfully institutionalized. Early psychiatry diagnosed everyone because the science was primitive. Men were institutionalized for things like nervous exhaustion, just like women were for hysteria. It was medical reformers like Emil Kraepelin whose work shaped the first DSM and cleared out a lot of those fake diagnoses for everyone. Part 2 shows the same thing as part 1. These weren't feminist victories. Follow for part 3, where we actually look at what feminists really did accomplish.
Baby, turn around and let me see that sexy body go.
Get out.
What's your age?
I'm 21. I'm 18.
And are you ladies single?
Yes, I am. 100%.
When it comes on to dating men in 2025, what problems are you running into?
Men are, can I curse? Men are sluts, they're whores, and they don't know how to settle down. They're disloyal liars that will be two-faced to you and lie to you while looking right at you.
Surely not all men are like this.
We actually did get cheated on together by the same guy.
By the same guy?
Same guy.
Whoa. So walk me through how y'all even phoned out.
I dated a guy, and then I saw her at a party with him, and then we just started talking from there. I exposed him for all the crazy that he did, like my best friend while I was blackout drunk next to them. Well, we were dating. Yep.
Whoa.
Flip it.
But how do you even start a friendship from that?
Well, we took pictures together, added each other on Instagram, started DMing. I threw her birthday party at my house, and then after that, we would hang out every single day of every single weekend.
But after you found out, did he try to get back with you?
Oh, me and him were done. We had been done since my best friend.
I cheated on him because he cheated on her. So I dated him to cheat on him. It was like revenge. On my best friend. It was revenge.
So wait, it was over with you, and then you set him up with her?
No. I found out that he cheated on her, so I cheated on him for her because he cheated on my best friend.
That's someone's daughter. Funny you say that, because that's someone's son. And I can wholeheartedly tell you, he didn't deserve one bit of what someone's daughter did to him.
So Shorty went on a date, and she found out the hard way.
I was on a date with this guy the other week, and on the date, he made me pay for every other drink that we got that night. Not just my drink, his included. And if I'm on a date and I have to pull out my card, I'll pull out my card. Boo-boo, I will pay. But just know there will not be a second date, okay? So I basically expressed to him, I was like, look, I've never had to pay for anything ever on a first date. Drinks, food, whatever. I feel like the man always takes care of it, and that's kind of just what I expect. To me, it's just the chivalrous thing to do. I think if you are a man, you will take care of the woman on the first date. And when I told him this, he verbatim replied, "You're not my, why would I pay for you?" And then followed that up with, "Sounds like you need to get your money up." What? Like going celibate, abstinent, whatever. I need like a lobotomy after that. What is going on?
The first thing I got to say is whoever homeboy is, he is not from Arizona, Phoenix, wherever she's at. Right off the bat, she seems insufferable, entitled as hell. And then on a first date, you know, telling someone, yeah, you know, the dude's supposed to pay for everything. Like you coming off mad ill. And once you start seeing those super red flags, granted, those are her preferences, but now it's my preference to be like, all right, bet you could pay for the rest of the drinks or whatever the case may be. Because if I see this date going nowhere, you know, I'm gonna wrap up whatever I had. So as far as paying for a date, my rule is if I ask you, I'll pay. And yeah, I think, you know, a dude is supposed to pay for dates, but at the same time, after so many dates, you can see where this is going, especially if the chick never offers to pay at all. I've been on dates where I've gone a few rounds and shorty's like, hey, no, I'll take the third round. A dude hears that, ooh, it's a whole different ball game. You know, appreciation goes a long way, especially to a dude. This chick right here just doesn't seem like that type. She does seem a little insufferable, and she's obviously single with these same chivalrous thoughts or whatever. It hasn't done nothing for her, and whoever was with her thought she wasn't worth it. So now the homie is is way ahead of the game. You're telling her you're not he not wrong. You not. There's levels. When you become my shorty, there's perks that come with that. And obviously into marriage, there's more perks that come with that. Yeah, man, she learned the hard way. That attitude sucks. But in all, homie told you, get your money up.
You're not even fast enough to get away. I don't know why you would have thought you'd have been able to do that and get away with it. You can't even run away from him. You could have seriously injured him. That could have been a major injury. And you'd have been in jail for it. Maybe even prison time.
Pete, what type of girl are you looking for?
I'm looking for a submissive, godly, unvaccinated woman.
What?
Unvaccinated.
No, the first word.
Submissive.
Oh, submissive.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Be submissive is to put yourself under the authority of your husband. Biblical. There's also a responsibility on the male side for that. It tells a wife to submit to her husband and a husband to die to himself for his wife.
Okay, so you can see that she was clearly uncomfortable with that answer, but I don't blame her. Society has given the word submit a negative connotation. But when scripture talks about submission, we see this as an act of reverence. Jesus himself submitted to the Father out of reverence and obedience. So when Paul writes, wives, submit to your husbands, we're doing this out of reverence and obedience to God and his design. But ladies, listen, this only works if you find a God-honoring man who is worth submitting to. Because you have to understand that God has such high standards for how a husband must treat his wife, to the point where he has to be willing to lay down his life for her at a moment's notice. So make sure to find a man who fears the Lord, who honors his wife, and who does not the leadership role in the marriage.
And I kind of want to discuss it further. When she talks about reverence, that is, looking up to somebody. And a lot of women say, well, what do I have to look up to you for? Well, the fact that I've been courting you this entire time. You asked me for something and I did it. You told me, hey, if you do this, then I respect a man who does X, Y, and Z. And so a man goes out and does it, and then you're still on the fence. You say, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. And really, honestly, and truly, y'all call yourself a Christian, and that's what y'all really be doing to God. Y'all don't have any reverence for God at all. Y'all don't listen to him. Y'all don't want to hear nothing he has to say. Well, send me a man. You don't respect me. How are you going to respect the man that I send you? Y'all not trying to, you don't cater to me. How are you going to cater to a man that I send you? If I'm supposed to be providing everything for you, and you still don't give me the time of day, how would you respect a man that's going to fall short? How can you love a man that's going to fall short? It doesn't make any sense. Modern women, and this is what men continue to say, modern women don't have any reverence for a man at all. There ain't nothing, no, because a man fool around take you on 2, 3, 4 dates that are fairly expensive. And even if they're not expensive, they're creative. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, but he doesn't get the respect that you owe him.
There's a lawsuit not too long ago by an artist that was hired to your label that was dismissed
twice.
What did you learn going through that?
Never work with women.
Oh, come
on. There's truth in every joke. But it's a sad truth. I will never be alone in a room with a woman that I work with. Ever again.
Why?
It's too risky. That case was dismissed twice in 2 different states. And there's hardly no mention of it online. When that case was brought up, it was on every single blog, every single front page. And I lost so many brand deals, relationships off of a story that was not even slightly believable. She said I sacrificed a goat in a sexual ritual. All people read was the headline, right? And that's all it takes to lose everything. That's a crazy concept. I lost millions of dollars off of an arbitrary story that some woman told. Like a crazy.
There's a lawsuit not too long ago by an artist that was like hired to your label that was dismissed
twice.
What did you learn going through that?
Never work with women.
Oh, come on.
There's truth in every joke. But it's a sad truth. Like, I will never be alone in a room with a woman that I work with.
I don't think date nights can ever get old, but I think so many years down the road, to keep things exciting, I think kids help that in a relationship. I see the point of kids after you've been with someone for so long.
So basically what you just said across the table is, you will get bored of me.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna get bored of you.
How did you navigate breaking up in front of the world, Nikki?
Well, having 2 public breakups.
Almost 4 years ago, we made a video about John Cena insisting that Nikki Bella signed an airtight relationship contract. They weren't even married. Nikki was just moving into his house, and John already knew what time it was. 75 pages. You could see the point he was making.
You're right. I should have told you before you packed the first box. I guess the reason I didn't ask you when I asked is because I didn't want to take something so wonderful and immediately it up with something so business. This is what my life is. This is what it's become. You met my family. You think my mom paid for that house herself?
Yeah.
She didn't. My brother lives in that house. They're expecting a child. My younger brother who's got medical problems, I make sure he's okay.
I like his posture here so far. Boundaries. And this is what they do. You saw her. Well, how do you handle this? And how they go on these talk shows and they dish and they spill and they get paid for that and they get publicity. They don't care about keeping things private. Anything and everything is content for them. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but after sitting with it a while, I just had to live in my truth. I just had to tell the world what I was going through at the expense of the man. So now the man is saying, let me go ahead and protect myself too.
I always tell them I'm a whore brother, but I try the best to be the best provider that I can. I just don't want to ever be in a position where that's in jeopardy.
John Cena.
That brother. Good. Hold on. You want to talk about breaking down by the molecules of how a masculine man communicates with a woman to establish order? That is a shining example.
So, our settlement is what everyone saw. Yes, I had to give him $200,000. That's what happens when you're the breadwinner. The breadwinner. The one thing is our judge, we did private mediation, said at the end of it, this is the first time in all the years I've done this where a woman had to pay a man.
Right.
Now let me tell you the learning lesson. If you ever get married again, promise me you will make them sign a prenup.
And let's be clear, this was a steal. With a net worth of $10 million, a $200,000 payout is getting off easy. Women only understand the value of a prenup when their money is on the line.
It's just so funny is that when women talk about this on their platforms, often they are exalted for the information, right? Like, meanwhile, on this side of the internet, men saying the exact same thing to men, when it impacts men way more often. I looked out at my comment section and I'm a red pill incel little dick bitch. Why y'all do me like that?
And he did what he had to do. Period. End of story. You can't even feel sorry for him because these modern women, they sit up here and shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily and shout out to MTR, Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews. Those brothers are doing that thing, so go check out their channel. But yeah, exactly. Y'all sit up here acting crazy. Oh, in all my time. We already have evidence that if he would have allowed you to do whatever he was going to do, then you would have taken full advantage of him. We already have evidence. We can go back to Tiger Woods and his girlfriend moving in his house. Then essentially in some ways try to get that man to pay money and probably even wanted to kick that man out of his own house. Oh, he owes me money. You're not even his wife. He gave you a place to stay. You got to stay in a mansion when you should have been living on your own, paying your own bills. Shut up talking. What's that young lady's name that I don't even know her name with Michael Porter Jr. I don't even know why he entered into that deal, but he said, hey, you know, I think her lease was up and she was looking for another apartment or place to stay. And the apartments that she was looking at was out of her budget. And for some reason he said, hey, I'll cover the rest of it. And he committed for a year. 6 months into the year they broke up. And so he was like, do I continue to pay for the lease? Why did you even say that you would do that? That woman is no longer your responsibility. I could see if she was your wife, then maybe she would have an argument. But she's not your responsibility. She's just a girlfriend. Stop extending yourself trying to be a good person for these women that are trash. Now, if you're trying to tie up some loose ends, listen, if you're trying to tie up some loose ends and say, hey, in the court of public opinion, I don't want to look like this, and this. Hey, more power to you. You make that decision. But that is not your obligation to do that. You are not obligated to do that. You do not have to do that. And modern women and people in society will make you feel like, oh yeah, it's required. It's not. It's not. I owe her nothing. She was living in my house and she was getting all of the perks and the benefits of living in my house, eating my food, wasting my electricity, running my water, and not having to pay a darn thing. So you owe me. You probably, and that's probably where the $200,000 came from. All of the bills and things that you did not pay. And you knew that. Get out of my face.